right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on a Thursday. Obviously, we're going to be breaking down what took place in Vegas last night with this Democratic debate. But, we're walking around Paris, about half an hour or so before the debate, just seeing who we're going to run into. We just said we ran into Tommy Lauren. We were speaking with her. So we run into these two lovely ladies who are wearing these shirts that says Goths for Bernie. And they're walking out of the casino. And we're like, oh, why are they walking out of the casino? We wanted to catch up with them. And apparently they were kicked out yesterday. They were kicked out of the casino for the shirts they were wearing. So we wanted to talk to them and find out why. Liz and Jessica joining us on the line right now for Goths for Bernie. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Hi, yeah. Thanks for having us. We're doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Okay, so
great.
Let me start with this. Describe the shirt that you were wearing last night, and how did you get kicked out of the casino? How did that all go down?
Well, they were black shirts, of course. And on the front, they say Goths for Bernie with, the Bernie silhouette and some bats coming out from behind him.
I like that.
And we actually... We had entered the casino in the afternoon and didn't have a problem, and everything was fine. And we came back in the evening, not a problem. And then another guy stopped us and said we had to take the shirts off, that they weren't allowed. And we took them off. And
was he wearing a MAGA hat?
Anyway.
Was he wearing a MAGA hat? That's what I want to know.
On the inside, clearly.
Okay, fine. I don't understand why they would kick you. I know that they were telling people that no signs were allowed. You couldn't bring signs into the casino. I don't understand why they would do that. And I wonder what they would have said if you were wearing a Donald Trump shirt that said "Make America Great Again." I wonder if they would have kicked you out. I would hope that they would have been consistent with it. Did he give you a reason why?
I think he was saying that they didn't want any political paraphernalia. They didn't want any arguing. Actually, just to clarify, when we ran into you, we had not been kicked out. We were going to watch the debate somewhere else because we couldn't get in. But we came back post-debate because we wanted to see sort of what was happening, and that's when it happened.
Gotcha.
And what was very striking to us was that once we then re-entered the hotel from a different entrance without our stuff on, and we saw tons of people with different political paraphernalia on. We saw Bernie, other Bernie pins. We saw Mayor Pete, Biden, Warren Yang, and we took photos of those. And we went to the front desk actually to speak with a manager, and the guy at the front desk was sort of taken aback that this had happened to us. But then we waited for 15 minutes and the security person never came. So we're looking forward to writing a letter to their corporate entities.
Well, I'd do a little bit more than that, ladies. I would consider a lawsuit. That seems to be illegal to me. If they're letting other people wear all sorts of different things and they're not policing them, but they're it seems like they singled you out. That's wrong.
I think a strongly worded letter makes more sense than a lawsuit. But I'm not sure what the damages are here.
Try to get at least a couple free buffets out of the thing. I'm sure Bernie would appreciate you ladies doing that. All right, let's talk a little bit about Bernie Sanders. And by the way, I'm sorry that happened to you ladies because you seem like you're very nice people, and that shouldn't have happened to you. All right, so Bernie Sanders, if he said right now he wants to raise the minimum wage to $50 an hour, would you agree with that?
I mean, hell yeah.
I'll take it. I think it's I mean, I'd want to look into it and why and how that's going to affect the economy. But you said 50.
Yeah, 50. If
50.
If Bernie Sanders wanted to guarantee a $50,000 a year salary to everybody in America, would you be okay with that?
Which is $25 now. That's not 50. Brian.
Okay, let's say $50,000 a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would personally be okay with that. I am someone that, doesn't make a lot of money. That's part of why I'm out here fighting for Bernie. I'm a member of 2 unions and I don't even really get health care through them because I don't work enough days.
Sure.
And I believe everyone should make a fair and living wage. And I think, expenses in our country are so high these days for things like health care and housing. We live in Southern California where housing is insanely expensive, and I would rather money be in the hands of many than the few.
Do you think that socialism is on the rise, and if Bernie Sanders is to win the 2020 Democratic nomination, that the Democratic Party will take a backseat to socialism over the next decade?
I personally don't. I mean, if you listen to the debate last night, I thought Bernie made a really great point that right now this country, we basically have socialism for the billionaire class and individualism for working people. And I think he's just trying to level the playing field. I don't think we're, headed to a place where I think he's just trying to even the playing field. I don't, and that's something I believe in.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Liz and Jessica, belong to the group Goths for Bernie. They were actually kicked out of Paris Casino yesterday for the shirts they were wearing. Okay, ladies, tell me, what is it about this organization, Goths for Bernie? Why Goths for Bernie? Tell me a little bit about what you guys are all about.
Well, I'd say it's more like representing this sect of Bernie supporters, which is definitely an important group. I think that Goths, I feel like we have this hard image, but generally, we're not out to hurt anyone, and we like other people. I guess I don't want to speak for every Goth person out there, but I'm absolutely more comfortable speaking on my own behalf. Very anti-consumerism, anti-materialism, anti-capitalism.
Sure.
And Bernie absolutely represents all of those things, so it's not hard to get behind him.
Fair enough. I remember
I think it's, we just believe in, representing more marginalized communities. And I think, Goths, at least aesthetically, are a more marginalized community.
No, fair enough.
But the question is that self-inflicted, though?
I'm sorry?
Is the aesthetic marginalization of the Goth, community self-inflicted?
Ooh.
I wanted to ask a more fun question.
That's a really good question. I think that, a lot of people seek to express themselves through the way, they dress. And
can we talk about that? Can we talk about the way you guys dress? Because I watched a show on HBO. It was a Goth. It was rated R, so there was some nudity in there, but it got my heart racing. Let me just say that. I like the way you ladies dress. So my question to you is this. For you ladies that dress in the Goth-type costumes, it certainly gets my heart pumping. Do you think it could be dangerous for Bernie Sanders, and do you think he could get a heart attack if you guys saw, if you saw one of your Goth calendars?
As he said in the debate last night, he's got 2 stents. He's running around on that campaign trail, playing baseball, doing all kinds of stuff. So I think, a humble Goth is the least of his concerns.
Do you think Bernie Sanders has ever looked at, Goth porn or anything like that? Does he? Because he's a liberal guy, right? I mean, do you think he's into that sort of thing?
I don't want to speak to anybody's taste, but, I support people enjoying things that are consensual and, available to them at their own pleasure.
Fair enough.
So what defines Goth? How do you, when you consider yourself Goth, what exactly does that mean from your perspective?
I would say it's embracing the deviation from mainstream society.
Mm-hmm.
And
mm-hmm.
Do you worship
in your own way? Do
you worship Satan?
Sure. I don't think that's specifically a Goth thing, but I think there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
With
Fair enough.
Goths and Satan.
Fair. I don't know why JD asked you that question, but anyway, fair enough. Listen, ladies, Liz, Jessica, you sound like lovely young ladies. I'm sorry that happened to you in Las Vegas. Let me just say that this is a very welcoming town. There's a lot of fun, and a lot of people do a lot of crazy things in here, and this is probably the least judgmental town I've ever been in. So we're glad you're here in Vegas. We're sorry that you got kicked out of the casino. I hope that security guard gets fired, and I want to thank both of you for coming in, for coming on the show and talking a little bit about Goths for Bernie. I appreciate both of you and your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
you're so welcome. We're big fans of Las Vegas and happy to be here.
Thank you.
To help support Senator Sanders and the democratic process.
Thanks, ladies. All right.
Thanks a lot,
we'll take
ladies.
a quick break. Be back right after this.